how to make Chinese dumplings, part 2. So with this wedge, Megan, if you can roll this into a snake, into kind of like a Play-Doh snake, roughly about an inch thick.
It's not very good at rolling.
It's okay. That looks good. No, that's perfect. So it looks like this, about an inch thick, about a little bit thicker than your finger, right? Maybe your thumb. Yeah. Okay. So then we're going to cut them into these little wedges that will come out like roughly like a square or a rectangle, kind of a pillow shape. And then you're going to roll them. Oh, first before you roll them, you're going to put the cut edge down on the table, and then you're going to take the palm or the heel of your palm and you're going to smush it down, and it turns into a bit of a coin shape. And from there, you're going to take your, I have a small rolling pin here, and we're going to roll it into the middle, and then when you roll it back out to the edge, you're going to push a little bit further down so it kind of comes out a little flatter, kind of like that. And then you're going to turn the little disc around and do the same thing. Into the middle gently, and then out a little bit harder. Into the middle gently, out a bit harder. And you just do this all the way around until you have basically the shape of a dumpling wrapper. So I'm getting there. This is still a little bit small, so I'm going to put a little bit more pressure. And if it gets sticky in the middle, we're going to add a little bit more flour. So just keep doing this. And a good friend of mine who taught me how to make these wrappers, she was such an expert at it. She was so good at it that she could do a wrapper in 3 turns. She was able to do it so fast. So as we get better, it'll become easier as we practice this. So it kind of looks something like this, maybe a smidge bigger. You want the middle to be a little bit thicker and the edges to be a little bit thinner, because we're going to be pinching the edges together, and you want the middle to be a bit thicker so that it can have more support when you add the filling. How's it coming, Megan? How's yours look?
Mine looks like a square.
So yes, it's a little uneven. They all look kind of, the ones that we have here are a little bit uneven, but that you want to go for an oval shape as much as you can. But that's also the charm of making homemade food. It is not done on a manufacturing line, and everything is a little bit uneven. That's the charm of it too.
Got a little
Yes.
demonstration.
Perfect.
Here.
Thank you very much. All right, so we will make a bunch of these wrappers, and then we will fill them.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so we have a couple of dumpling wrappers here ready to go, and what you want to do is pour a little bit of water into a small dish, a little cup if you have, and what we're going to do now is we are going to fill one of the wrappers. So, if you can pass me one, please.
Okay, let's see. This one?
Thank you, and if you can pass one for yourself. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a spoonful. Okay, just leave it there. I'm going to take a spoonful of meat. Do you have a wrapper?
Yeah.
I like putting it in the palm of my hand. I find that a little bit easier.
Okay.
And then you put the meat right in the middle. You want it to fill about half. So right in the center.
Like
If
this?
it's too much, that looks like it might be a bit too much. It might be hard. So you got to kind of imagine and trial and error for the first little bit. But you're going to imagine that you're going to have to be able to kind of pinch them together. So what I'm going to do now, once you've got your little ball, maybe a little bit less, you're going to need a bit more. You want about ½ inch of wrapper around the whole edge. Okay? And then I'm going to dip your finger in the water, and I'm going to spread some of that water around half, kind of a semicircle, half of the wrapper. All right? And then I start in the middle. So I take the bottom and I bring it up to the top. Bring it up to the top, and then I pinch. Once I pinch that together, I've got a little pouch. Kind of looks a bit like a cannelloni. Looks a bit like a cannelloni. And then from here, I find, from here I put it down, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but what I do is then I put it down, and then I take side, one side, and I bring it up to the middle, to the top, and pinch it together. Bring the next one up and pinch it together. The next one to pinch it together until you have, and then you do the same on the opposite side. You bring it up a little bit and pinch it together, pinch it together, pinch it together until you have a little dumpling. And then you can put that, and as you practice, it'll look nicer and nicer, and then that is your little dumpling. And so usually what we do is, this brings me back to, again, to my childhood, where I would sit around a table with my mom and my grandma and my aunts, and we would all spend the next half hour, sitting there around the table, wrapping dumplings together, talking to each other about all kinds of things, and then we get to make them. So we'll spend the next little bit making these, and then after that we will get the pot of water boiling, a big pot of water boiling. You can put some chicken powder in the pot and make some stock, and then you boil them for about 15 to 20 minutes. The best way to tell that they're done is when they start floating again.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why
So,
is that?
Why is that?
Why do they float when they finish?
I'm not quite sure, actually. There must be science behind that, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, so here you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So you, again, put some water on the outside. You don't need very much, actually, because these are freshly made. I find that the dumpling wrappers actually come together very, very quickly. You just pinch them together. You don't even need much water.
Aha!
My little cannelloni shape. And then I set it down and I bring it up and pinch. Bring it up and pinch. And pinch. Alright, so now we have 2 plates of dumplings ready to go, and our pot of water is boiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some chicken stock powder, into the pot of boiling water, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor as it cooks. And if you're a kid at home doing this, make sure you get an adult to supervise and help you put these dumplings into the water. What we're going to do is you put them in very gently, right? And so that they don't splash. Turn the heat back up. And the other thing to make sure they don't stick on the bottom is to stir the pot of water so it's kind of like a volcano or a tornado. Make it like a tornado of water, spiraling fast, and then you gently drop them in as they go so they don't stick. And you can tell when they're done when it comes back to a boil and all of the dumplings are floating at the surface. That's when you know they're done. But, oh no! We've got some sticky ones here, but that's okay. We just pinch them back together. Drop them in gently, stir the water to make sure they don't stick to the bottom. And we'll keep going. Alright, so we're going to prepare them 2 different ways. You can either fry them or you can boil them. We put them into some boiling water with some chicken stock. Boil it for about, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes to be on the safe side, so that the meat is cooked. And similarly, when we fry them, we are going to put a little bit of oil in the pan, arrange them nicely. We're going to fry them first and wait till it gets crispy on the bottom, about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add about, I don't know, 1/4 cup water into it, the pan, and I'm going to cover it with the lid to steam it, and so that makes sure that the top is cooked and the inside is cooked, fully cooked. So in total about 10 to 15 minutes. Fry first for the first half, and then steam boil it for the second half. And then all the water should evaporate, and you'll have some delicious dumplings to try. So here we have the two finished formats of cooking the dumplings. We've got the boiled dumplings and chicken stock, which you can add a little bit of chicken stock if you like to eat it more like a soup dumpling. And we also have them pan fried. For dipping, we would do just soy sauce, or you can do plum vinegar with a little bit of sliced ginger. If you can take a look here. This is the great ways that we like to eat it. I prefer the vinegar. It adds a nice tang to it.
And I prefer the soy sauce because it's soy sauce.
Who doesn't like soy sauce? So hopefully you guys learned how to make some traditional Chinese dumplings. Do try them out. Let me know if you've tried them and what you like, what you found worked for you, and what your favorite combinations are. And enjoy. Bon appetit.